This is Sports Talk with Steve Jones, Seven Mountains Media Production. We're doing a little bit of a special Steve story today. Steve, what you got for us?
Road trips.
Oh, we do like a good road trip here.
9 years ago, Penn State opens the season in Ireland against UCF, Central Florida. This had been set up by Bill O'Brien and by George O'Leary, the head coach at that time at UCF. Two of them have gone back a ways. Penn State, going into the 2014 season, is still not considered to be eligible for a bowl game. So Bill had set this up as the idea of, let's open the season. This will be like our, quote, bowl game. Bill then takes the Houston Texans job. James Franklin comes in the middle of January and inherits the game. Okay, great. Well, that means and James, who is so routine-oriented, and as I've said before, completely understand, I am extremely routine-oriented. Now they have to come up with this entire plan of how to do this. Now, the part of the plan they don't have to worry about is it's UCF's home game. Penn State had hosted them the year before. So this is UCF's home game. So they had to supply the goalposts, the yard markers, right? The first down markers. They had to ship all that stuff over. Okay. So Penn State goes over there. I think they went over 4.5 days before the game. Fly over. And they stayed at a place called the Powers Court. Beautiful. I mean, Kyle, what a hotel. Really terrific place, right? TVs in the mirror of the bathroom. You're like going, hey. It's like, wow, this is some place. But it's also 45 minutes south of Dublin. Now, there's a lot that they built in. The players were able to go to the Guinness factory. No, they did not have Guinness, but they had a big dinner for them there. The staff was allowed to go to the top floor, and have Guinness and, the gravity pour and so forth. All right. But, that was part of it. They practiced at college at Dublin, and this is the one where I'm at practice, and there were 6 students watching it. It was open. People, 6 students from college at Dublin were sitting there, along with some others watching practice. So I'm walking up through the stands, and I was going to go up to see Jack, because Jack Ham had gone up to the concourse. So I'm walking up there, and all of a sudden I look over. I said, "Hey, you guys big fans of American football?" And of course, in their various accents, I said, "Absolutely." I said, "Where are you guys from?" And it turned out 3 of them were from Ireland and 3 were from Scotland. I said, "Do you have a favorite team?" And all of them said, "Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers." Now, it made sense because, remember, at this time, Dan Rooney, who presented the trophy after the game at Crow Park, was the ambassador to Ireland. Okay? So it made sense, right? And I said, "Wow." I said, "That's great." I said, "So you're big Steeler fans?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "You ever hear of a guy named Jack Ham?" And this one guy that is from Scotland goes, "Oh, Jock Ham." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Oh, he's one of the greatest ever." I said, "Well, you want to meet him?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, he's standing right there." They went, "What?" So, part of my job is, when you work with Jack, is your professional photographer.
You're Jack's PR.
Here, you take the phones, take the phone. I've been able to get pretty good at it. And so they took the picture. Okay. Well, now, the day before the game, they're going to have a pep rally. But, James isn't going to do the pep rally. So the Alumni Association contacts Jack and me to fill in for James at the pep rally. So we have to get up there. So we get in a cab. It's a 45-minute drive from the Powers Court through the streets of Ireland to get to Dublin. and where we needed to be downtown. Great. The cab driver, Jack is sitting in the front seat because I think Jeff Tarman was there, Roger was there, Roger Corey, and I'm in the back seat, so the three of us in the back seat. And this cab driver spends 45 minutes telling us in no uncertain terms how much he dislikes his wife.
That sounds like a lovely
And he
car
keeps
ride.
looking, oh yeah. And he keeps looking over at Jack. He's like, and she does this and she does that. Jack's like, can you look at the road? And Jack kept saying, can you look at the road? Can you look? And he's all over the road. It was 45 minutes of water dripping on our heads as we're going into Dublin. So we finally get into Dublin. Kyle, it was one of the great experiences ever. Because the Penn State fans came out, and when I mean came out in droves, that's an understatement. I've never taken a picture of a crowd from a pep rally before, right? And that included the Rose Bowl. There were like 20,000 people at Beverly Hills High School, right? But there was also 2008. I didn't really know how to take a picture with their phones.
You know what a selfie was back then.
Oh, no. Oh, I've got, we have more time for this? How much time?
Be my guest.
I'll tell you about that one, too. And so I got up there on stage, and the street to the right completely packed with fans. Then across the stage, and the street keeps going, obviously, to the left, completely packed with fans. And then straight down from the stage, it was an unbelievable sight. I took a picture of it. I have it in my office at home. And the picture, as great as it looks, doesn't do it justice because you can't see the wings. You can kind of sort of see the wings. It was phenomenal. I mean, who knows what we said? We said that some gobbledygook and everybody went, yay, great. But the two of us are standing there in the back of the stage, and Jack says, can you believe this? I said, I can't believe this. Right? And again, he's seen everything. Right? So the pep rally at Beverly Hills High, 2008 Rose Bowl. Guido D'Elia, who comes up with a lot of incredible ideas, comes up to me and says, hey, we want to do the introduction a little different this time. And I said, okay. All right. I said, what do you want to do? He said, well, instead of you introducing Joe, he says, we want the Lion to do it. And I said, okay. I said, that's interesting. I said, the Lion's not supposed to talk. And he says, no, we got it worked out. I said, okay. He said, no. He said to me, he said, I see your point. He said, but we thought of that. We've got it worked out. He said, you're going to introduce the Lion. I said, great. Okay. I said, and then he's going to come out. I said, and when he goes up to Joe, and the Lion does the deal with the ears, he's going to go up to Joe, and he's going to, when he does the ears, that's the signal to Joe to get up and go, okay, I'm going to get up and talk. I said, okay. I said, if you don't mind, I said, I'll step to the side after I introduce him, stay up on stage, off to the side, but I'll keep the microphone. If you guys could keep the microphone on, that'd be great. I said, just as a backup. Anyway, and Guido says, yeah, it's smart. Okay. Yeah. And Guido and I we're always on the same page. He understood what I was getting. So I said, and the crowd is phenomenal. I mean, they're all over the place. And this is the Beverly Hills High, by the way. You see the movie It's a Wonderful Life? That's where the swimming pool is.
Not bad.
It's still there. That opens up. Okay. So I introduce, here's the Nittany Lion. The crowd goes crazy because they love the mascot. The Lion's great, the whole deal. He gets up and he kind of leads in some cheers. It's fabulous, right? The crowd's going crazy because the Lion's always great. So he goes up to Joe and he gets in front of him. Joe's sitting to my right. He goes up, he goes, wiggles the ears. Joe looks at him and waves at him. I thought, okay.
And that's why you keep a mic on you as backup always.
And I said, and ladies and gentlemen, college football's greatest coach, Joe Paterno. Hey, thanks, Steve. It's like, so sometimes the backup plan, it's always good to have one. But yeah, the cab driver from the Powers Court, the Dublin.
You're one of your fondest memories in life, I can gather.
What a miserable man.
A miserable man, but the man across from me is not miserable.
I'll say this. The people of Ireland were phenomenal. This guy was miserable. Okay, we found the one miserable guy in the whole country.
Only you could do that, Steve.
No, I was like, Jack was in the front seat.
So you're blaming Jack for this as well.
No, there's no blame anywhere. He was the one that, he wasn't talking to us. He was talking to him. Right? Poor Jack was like a hostage. It's like when we went to dinner one time I think it was the 2016 Rose Bowl. I was in the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going through Los Angeles on the 101 or 110 or whatever it was, going to dinner in Beverly Hills. And this guy, ding, 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 and we get out of the cab, and Jack says to me, "Oh, God, that ride was awful." I said, "Yeah, imagine how it felt in the front seat." He goes, "Oh, my God, it had looked terrible." I said, "Jack, we missed accidents by this much on 8 different occasions." Oh,
you can see happiness strewn across Steve's face. And of course, thanks for tuning in to this special episode of Storytime with Steve.
You got more than you bargained on this one.
Oh, yeah. More than you bargained for on this one. Check back daily for all the latest sports news and analysis here and also on our social media at Sports7MM.